Thank you for your question. So the most important variables, or like data to track in general for me, is how a lifter is performing across the block. So in regards to how they, how strong they are on each week of the block, and then how strong they are in different sessions of that block. So how strong their like day one bench is compared to their bench on like day four. So with this athlete, I'm gonna show you a little example of how I plan out his like block progression based on like previous information. So for example, he had this block right here, and I like to use E1RMs across the block in this manner, which where you can see how things can progress across the block. And for him, it is fairly like consistent that he is much stronger on the final week of the block. So even here, I assume we're gonna see like a nice trend to where it starts off lighter towards the end of the block. All three lifts just show up stronger. Here again, starts lighter at the end of the block, all three lifts showing up stronger. So we have a very good trend with this athlete that he's going to be strongest on his like week 4. And what that means for like pacing a block is that I am not pacing his like week 1 of the block on the strength he's going to have on like last blocks of week 4. Right, I'm expecting him to come in slightly weaker, which allows us to hit the RPEs and make sure fatigue is being managed very well. So for example, as you can see, this block here, he ended off with E1RM of 110, triple PB, which was great. So when I came around to his new block, I didn't come here and like plan his block based on like him being able to hit 110 again. So for example, you can see, his E1RM for this set would be like 107.4, which is a bit under what you hit on the last block. So being able to know that an athlete is going to come in X amount weaker on that week 1 is very important, because it can be easy to simply think, oh, we hit 110 here, his strength is 110, let's plan for like him having that same E1RM. But what this can lead to is now this being an overshot. For example, he hits 95 kg and he hits like a 7 or like a 6.5, which is a bit too heavy. And then he comes in to week 2 again and goes too heavy. By the end of the block, he's burnt out. So just knowing how an athlete is going to like feel on each week of the block is very important thing to keep track of. Let me just undo those changes so I'm not messing with the future data. Yeah, that's one thing. So for example, in this scenario right here, we can see that he's progressing very well. Like this block right here was crazy. He hit double at 2.5 kg under his 1RM, and going off the trends of us knowing that, his week 4 is going to be his strongest week of the block. What I could do here is, let's say, like, I'm confident that 110 kg, is within his realms. This is the 5 kg PB on his 1RM. So we're going to hit PB here. But what I would do in this scenario is that we're already going to hit a big PB over his 1RM. I would cap it at 107.5. Why? Because he's going to hit all-time PB, the double PB, right? PB on double. But in the future blocks, right? In the future blocks, when we return to this rep range, we can easily PB again. If we hit 110, that's great, right? Big PB, but why not save the PB for the future blocks to where we can hit a PB again and ride that wave? Because if we return to doubles in the future now, it means that to hit PB, we got to do 112, which likely means you're going to have to progress a lot more to hit 112 for double, which I might not want. But if I just save that 110 in the bag for the future, it's fine, right? We can keep PBing every single block rather than having a big PB here and then having to work harder to progress to PB that bench again. So a bit like a mental game of like saving PBs to allow us to ride momentum in the future is like a big thing that I do with my athletes. Because hitting 110 here, great. These two numbers are still both big PBs. You're gonna be happy regardless, right? So there's no point pushing it too far. He's not gonna get any extra benefit from hitting 110 in this block. And yeah, very simple. Second thing was comparing strength for different days. So I'm gonna head over to my client Keen's program, where he benches 4 days a week, and with this he has 2 days that he benches. Yeah, his primary day is here, and his secondary day or tertiary day around the program performs at a similar level to his primary day. So for us, it's an easy way for us to gauge how he's going to come on his primary day just based off his first day here. So we hit 170 kg at 8 on day 1, 180 1RM. his primary day is at 9. So I can pretty much comfortably say that he will come into the primary day and hit 175 kg at 9, because we can, use the performance on a different day to, project where he's going to be on the main day, rather than like thinking the primary day is going to be stronger and going too heavy, which can probably lead to like a failure or a bad set. So add that cap in there. But yeah, very simple, kind of.